My name is Jessie, and welcome to my channel, Bubba Stitching Quilts. It's a channel primarily about cross stitching, every once in a while a little bit of quilting. If you are new, welcome. Happy to have you. Hope that you'll enjoy what you're seeing and have a good time with us. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much. I really do appreciate everyone who comes and spends a little bit of time with me. I know that there's a lot of great floss tubers out there, so it means a lot that you would choose me for a little bit. What's going on? So first, I'm going to not apologize, but acknowledge that I'm recording this on Sunday, November 1st, first thing in the morning, not quite first thing, but in the morning. And so Sunday is our laundry day. So the bed is currently, all the sheets and everything are currently being washed. And so so I have an unmade bed. Apologies for that. Also, because people will see, and I don't want anyone to worry and ask. So a few months ago, at the beginning of the year, I was diagnosed with eczema, which I guess is unusual for an adult to get diagnosed with. My suspicion is I've probably had it most of my life because I've always had really sensitive skin, but by the time you get to a doctor and everything like that, things have kind of cleared up, and so they don't really diagnose it. And so anyway, so I'm having a flare-up right now, and I have an appointment with a dermatologist this week. And so in an effort to kind of let it do what it needs to do, I haven't put on any kind of makeup to cover it or anything like that. But that's what's going on. I am not in any kind of pain. It's, I'm not sick. I don't, I have some allergies, but that's it. So don't worry about that if you are concerned. I appreciate the concern, but it's no big deal. Not a whole lot of life updates. This past week was really super busy because it was National Celebrate Pro Bono Week here in the States, which is a week designated by the American Bar Association to recognize and celebrate pro bono work by private attorneys. Which, if you are not familiar, I am I'm the managing attorney for a pro bono unit, so I serve, that's my job. I'm a matchmaker, and I look for cases that work well for pro bono attorneys and find pro bono attorneys to take those cases to kind of meet the need of the many people who cannot afford attorneys. And in Texas, approximately 40% of Texas qualifies for my program services. So it's a lot of people, and we actually think and that's pre-COVID numbers. It's probably higher than that because Texas does have a high unemployment rate currently, and those numbers were based on when the unemployment rate was like around 4%. Unemployment in Texas is currently hovering around between 8 and 9%, so it's probably pretty high up there. So if you happen to be an attorney or work in the legal field and you're trying to think of ways to give back in this time of COVID, I hope you consider reaching out to your local legal aid organization and providing some pro bono services. So that's it. So anyways, but because of how busy it was, and I was working long days and part of last weekend and everything, I didn't get as much stitching as I thought. Also, I'm not a fast stitcher, so I don't know why I have these like grand plans to finish things, and then I'm like, what am I talking about? I have probably averaged like 300 stitches or X's, full X's a night. Like it's not like I'm like, I watch, there's some floss tubers that I watch, and I'm just like, how are you, I'm trying to think of who I think of as like super fast. Stitching with Big Things with Haley, who's wonderful. If you haven't watched her videos, she does a lot of, obviously, big things, full coverage pieces and big pieces and stuff like that. I'm always shocked. She does her videos, I think, every 2 weeks, maybe weekly. I think it's every 2 weeks, and what? Like the progress that she makes. I'm like, what? And I know she stitches in hand. I think she stitches in hand. Or no, I think she might be on a quilt, on a Q-snap. But, and I know stitching in hand makes a difference in speed. I can't do it. I do need that tension. I need the frame. I've tried it. I don't like it. I don't like the way my stitches come out. So, maybe I just need to practice. Anyways, but I'm always surprised by that. Anyway, so the point is, I didn't get that much done. I just still continue to focus on 2 pieces, although I do have another update after that. So let's get started. No much ado about nothing. So first up is going to be Pumpkins Thieves by Madame Chantilly. I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture of what it looked like the last time what it will look like when it's done and the last time that you saw it. And this is where we are. So I think it's pretty good progress. I think I was like overestimating I might be able to get it finished. Silly Jessie. Tricks are for kids. And so this is where I am. I ran out of my floss for the blimp. That green, that little lime green, that not lime green, but that green, which is sad because you can actually see where I had stitched the outer edges so that I knew where to stop when I was just doing row stitching. And I only have like, I think 4 more rows. That's it. And that's it for the color on the piece. So I don't really need anything. So anyways, but that's where we are. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Again, I'm not a, I'm doing this on 32 count, Picture Disc Plus Nocturne, 2/2. And I love Halloween. It is my favorite holiday of the year. And but I am not a Halloween 24/7, 365 person. For me, it is, it's kind of in that time frame. I usually get really excited about Halloween about mid-September, and then it goes through, and then Halloween's done, and then I kind of start to switch gears. It's like, I don't know if y'all seen the memes that show up on the social medias, which is from Cinderella, whereas the fairy godmother is talking to Cinderella, and she goes, and suddenly at midnight, Halloween ends and Christmas everywhere. Which I always think is kind of funny. I give Thanksgiving its props that it's due. We do decorate for Thanksgiving on a smaller scale, but we do actually have some Thanksgiving stuff out, and but I do kind of switch at this stage to being Christmas mode, and so anyways, that's my long way of saying that I think that Pumpkin Thieves, I'm going to go ahead and reorder the thread, and I'm probably going to put them away for this year, and I'm already starting to work on my 2021 plans, and we'll figure out how to get them into the rotation so that it's done by Halloween. Because I would like to have this fully finished for Halloween for next year, and but I don't want to keep it. It's only it's a medium-sized piece. There's no real reason for me to believe I can't get it done if I don't give it a good college try for a couple of weeks. So that's it on Pumpkin Thieves. My next ambitious goal, again, because if you've been watching the video, then you know about Pro Bono Week, because I talked about it just a few minutes ago. But I was trying to finish Emily's House by Lindy Stitches. Once again, too ambitious, Jessie. Did not get that quite done. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture of what it will look like when it is done, and my progress from the last time that you saw it. And this is where we are. Let me scoot back so you can see the whole thing a little bit better. Honestly, I think if I had not switched to Pumpkin Thieves this past week, I probably would have been able to finish this. So the border actually doesn't take that much time in general, and it's filling in that green in the yard, in the lawn, that is probably taking the most amount of time. But anyways, I do fully expect to have this done in this month. It's going to become my focus piece for sure, and I'll work on it pretty much every night, every day. Things I don't like. So last time you saw it, I had not filled in the lawn around the scales of justice, and as you can see, I don't think it pops. Especially compared to the picture of the finished product before. I'm not mad. I think it's dye lots different. I mean, I'm using the called for, so I think it's just different dye lots, and the tin bucket just was not as dark as what Stephanie used in her, or whoever her model stitcher was, what they were able to get. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because I would like to make that pop. I think what I'm going to try, and you have suggestions, I'm open to suggestions, but I don't want to frog it. That's kind of not my preferred choice. So I think what I'm going to try is I'm going to try some back stitching and see if that helps, and like maybe back stitch it in the the storm clouds, I think is the color that's the in the border. You see how much darker that is. I think I'm going to backstitch that and see if that makes a difference and help pop it out. If it doesn't, then I may frog it. I don't want to though, but I'm gonna try backstitching first. So we'll see. But if you have a suggestion, I am completely open to your suggestions. Oh, and by the way, thank you for all your suggestions on Pumpkin Thieves on what color to stitch the clouds. We'll see. We'll see as we go. I appreciate everyone's feedback, so thank you for commenting. So again, on Emily's house, I'm doing this on 36 count. Edinburgh linen, Picture This Plus, earthen. So, still love it. Still gonna get it done. It will not be hanging around in my, it is not part of my 2021 plans. When I've been kind of doing my drafts of 2021 plans, it is not included. This will be done before the end of the year. Hands down, for sure. That's it. That's all I got in terms of my stitching, because I only focused on those two pieces. So again, this is probably not going to be a very long video, but I do have a couple of other things to talk about. So in terms of plans, so thinking about November plans and maybe possibly going into December plans, I do have one cross-stitching gift that I'm making. I don't love stitching it, and so when I stitch on it, I'm just kind of meh. I mean, I don't dislike the pattern or anything like that. It's just that I'm doing it on 16 count Aida. It's very stiff. I can't get the I don't know. So anyways, I have one Christmas gift that I'm trying to finish, but it might not happen this year. It might be a next year kind of a thing, or next year birthday type of a thing. We'll see. But Chinese Zodiac, I had put that aside for October, so I still have October's clue. And then, of course, the November clue will be coming out on the 15th of this month. And that's it. That will finish Chinese Zodiac. So my goal and plans is to finish Chinese Zodiac this month, finish Emily's house this month, and then I'll just rotate some things in, rotate in some Sailor Scouts, and kind of do that. And whatever strikes my fancy, I think, beyond that. I don't really have any plans for November, basically. I might get inspired to watching other Floss tubers today, see what their plans are for November and Thanksgiving, and that might inspire me. But for right now, those are my plans. Now, all that being said, I am anticipating and planning on participating in Flossmas this year. So Flossmas is, I'm going to basically do a video every day in December, leading up to Christmas and possibly after Christmas, and the short little snippets. So they're going to be Floss Tube extras, yeah, we'll see. I'm going to kind of put my plans together, and I'm for that, but I want to give it I want to give that a try. I don't do any of the major Floss Tube challenges that I see throughout the year, but I felt like this one was a good one, like because it puts you in the Christmas spirit and everything like that. I do have an advent calendar coming for tea, so maybe I'll share my teas. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna kind of watch some Floss tubers today and get inspired as they announce their various plans and things like that. So what's next? So this is stitching related, but not a stitching update, which is that I worked on a project bag. So I ended up unexpectedly taking Friday off. I had some comp time I needed to take, so I made a new project bag. Here we go. And here's the back, so you can see the full pattern of it. It's super cute. I love it a lot, and so I'm really happy with it. Now, I don't know if you watch my previous videos when I talked about project bags. I seem to have issues with project bags. I always have at least one thing go wrong when I make them, and so in this particular case, I don't know what was going on in my brain. I did the top part first, top and bottom, and then I did the sides. And you really should do the sides so that the zipper goes all the way across. It's not a big deal. I can still get the Q-snaps in and out, but I was like, what am I doing? Oh, and I'm just realizing it's slightly crooked there. I don't care. These are for personal use. I don't care. So anyway, so that's my project bag. Now, this is not a thing that went wrong. but I'm going to show you. This is my very first project bag that I made, which I'm really super happy about. Now, this is Sailor Scouts in here, and as you can see, well, you can't see, but it's on an 11 by 17 Q-snap. It fits in there, no problem. Okay, now I'm going to take out the exact same, now same instructions, same pattern. The only thing I did differently was that I messed up on the zipper part, right? Or on the top bottom. Here we are. Oh my goodness, it does not fit. Exact same measurements. I was like, what did I do wrong? So, there it is. It does not fit. What did I do wrong, you want to know? I did nothing wrong. Oops, I just lost my little spoolie thing. When I made my first couple of project bags, I didn't know where my zipper foot was. I had misplaced it because I don't do that much stuff involving garments or stuff like that, so I didn't know where it was. And I was cleaning up my crafting space, my quilt room a little bit, and I found my zipper foot. I'm like, hey, I found my zipper foot. I'm going to use it to make my project bag. So that's the difference. I was able to use my zipper foot, and so you can see it's much closer to the teeth right there. And then when you see my original, I don't even have to get up close so that you can see. It's completely far away because I was using a regular foot, and I couldn't, that was about as close as I could get to the teeth. So I'm not worried about it. I'm probably going to put a project, I prefer a rectangular shape, an 8 by 10, an 8 by 11, 11 by 17. That's kind of my preference, mostly because I stitch on one part of it, and then I still use paper patterns, and so I kind of attach my paper pattern on the part I'm not stitching on the other side, and so it gives me the working space that I need right in front of me. And so that's my preference. It's not a hard and fast rule in any way. So I will probably just put a project onto an 11 by 11 and use this bag, and it's gonna be fine. But going forward, although I can't imagine, I don't plan on having many BAPs, big awesome projects that require me to have it on 11 by 17 going forward. So I was planning on making one more, but I don't know, because that would be for Cinderella, which is currently on a 17 by 17. So I'm not going to make a 17 by 17 bag. I'm just going to sit on the counter or something. But it is a nice reminder, because I do plan on making a lot more of the half sizes to fit the 8 by 11 Q-snaps. So I just have to remind myself that using the zipper foot, I need to add some fabric. So that's my project bag update. So just FYI, if you're using the Fat Quarter Shop's tutorial, I'll link that below to make your project bags. The instructions and the fabric allowances are for the most part big enough to put an 11 by 11 Q-snap in. If you want to do an 11 by 17, which is what I did accidentally, you're going to have to add a probably just a 1/4 inch, but if the math is off, probably at least a 1/2 inch to each of your strips on the top and bottom, or at least for your zipper part, to be able to ensure that. But if you want them to actually be the same measurements, you need to do all 3 of the strips the same measurements. And if you want it to be balanced in the whole square, you need to do the whole, all the strips will need to be, it has 2, so I would probably do it as a 2.5 strip of the width of fabric. So anyways, so that's my feedback on the project bags. If you are making your own project bags and you are now using a zipper foot and you want to be able to fit an 11 by 17 Q-snap. All right. That's it in terms of the cross stitching, and so I have a super short update on the quilting. I did tell everyone that I was starting a quilt. I did on Friday, despite the fact that my project bag always has a problem, always ends up taking me more time than I do. I did start on my quilt. So this is the pattern that I am working on. So this is Definite Plus by Robin Pickens. I am doing the white colorway. Not the gray, so I'm going to be doing the white. I'm using the fabric it has in the pattern. For those of you who are new, I have lost a lot of my quilting stitching bug, so my my ability to do fabric selections and stuff like that is pretty on the low end of things, and so So I've just basically been buying either kits or patterns. And so anyway, so this is the fabric is thatched. It's Robin Pickens line for Moda Fabrics. So, but I started cutting. This is basically all I got to. I started cutting. So the intention is during my week of Thanksgiving, I am taking a full week off for American Thanksgiving. And we do plan on, as of right now, the plan is to probably spend it with my husband's family for a few days. Probably not the whole week, but probably for the weekend. And but I'll have some days here. The other thing that's going to probably get into my stitching time in terms of plans is that my city is going to be having their e-cycling and shredding event on November 14th. Does that sound right? In 2 weeks. It's a Saturday and 2 weekends. And so we have been in the process of kind of decluttering the house, and so we're kind of doing a major like purging right now. So I'm going through some old paperwork to make sure that we don't need to keep any of it and get it shredded, and getting all of our electronics which have accumulated in the house like on a big scale. So it's like, it's one of those things, like the more time you spend in your house, the more you realize how much clutter you actually have and how much space you're utilizing for storage. And so we did have a lot of that kind of stuff, and it was just like, so we're kind of working on that. So but the plan is during that week that I'm off is to work on quilting. So the thing about cross stitching and quilting, right? And I think this is self-evident. Cross stitching, right? I work till 7 p.m. say. I can pick it up. I can work on it for a couple of hours, no problem, and get some good progress depending on what you're working on, right? With quilting, it's not the same. For me, it's an effort to start. So even though I have a quilting room and a machine and everything is set up, like you still have to get in and kind of get into the mindset, and you don't want to be cutting when you're tired because it's dangerous, and it just takes a while, but although I can make a lot of progress in a couple of hours, the amount of time it takes for me to kind of get into that space, set up my working space, get my fabrics laid out, get all that taken care of, it just takes a long time. So usually I only quilt when I have full days available to me, or at least half a day where I can have at least 4 or 5 hours to quilt, is when I quilt. And so anyways, that's it. As promised, even though it is the day after Halloween, I am wearing my Haunted Mansion dress from Cakeworthy. So it's the wallpaper. And so it's super cute. I love it. And quarantine no rules, so I can wear what I want on November 1st. But otherwise, we're going to start moving into Thanksgiving and into Christmas. And that's it. That's all I got for y'all today. So take care, everyone. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, I hope you're having a stitching good time. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, postscript. If you are in the United States, Tuesday, and you watch it before Tuesday, is Election Day. If you have not voted, please go vote. Make a plan. If you are in line at the time the polls close, you still have a right to vote. Stay in line. Make good choices. Bye.